All right, so a few days ago, AWS, Amazon Web Services, had an outage. It was not security related. Dridex is having its 4th update. It was just found, so that is causing a little bit of panic amongst the security field. Mm-hmm. And a Boeing employee emailed their wife over 36,000 employee social security numbers. So
wow. Yeah,
take it away.
Some really interesting news items down there. I'll start with the first one. So Amazon Web Services, which has your infrastructure as a service, is actually well reputed. Even Netflix infrastructure is based on that. Mm-hmm. Their whole CDNs in the infrastructure went down, right? And a lot of websites were affected. There's a popular website called Wix, which people build their websites on, that got affected.
And our bookkeeping website got affected,
yeah.
right?
So there's a lot of popular websites which just went down. And what happens when suddenly a lot of the internet websites start shutting off? People think that it's some kind of
it's the Mirai botnet.
The Mirai botnet is back or something, a different variant. But now this time it was a problem with Amazon Web Services, and I think so. What happened was their S3 block creation retrieval was not working, and I think so in the end they got it all fixed, mitigated, and now their S3 block creation stuff is working and back online, which actually powers a lot of the CDN aspect of the infrastructure. But still a lot of I would say commotion in the social networks and also everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And we'll also link below to Amazon has an AWS Service Health dashboard that was apparently also down at the time, so you couldn't even get real-time updates about where they were at in the process. TechCrunch did chronicle the events as they were happening, so we'll link to that as well. It's kind of interesting to see how it all progressed. So.
Yeah, and then I think the last year Amazon is very reputed when it comes down to infrastructure as a service. Mm-hmm. They passed like 1 million user base and customer base, which is also a very big thing. So this news comes in both ways. The success versus sometimes infrastructure failures does get you some kind of limelight, which is not the kind of attention you want, and especially when you're at that reputation.
Especially with rumors of security
issues flying around, definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another thing was, Dridex actually came with an update. It's actually an injection technique with a lot of evasive capabilities, and it's called the AtomBombing update.
Which doesn't sound good.
And that is one thing which all of you should be aware of. And this particular update is, I think, to the 4th version of Dridex. Mm-hmm. And a lot of bad guys are going to get hold of this and try to run it, and especially the banking sector is what has to be specifically on I would say on guard from all these new variants and new updates which come across.
And it's really strong and evasive, and I believe this is our 3rd story on Dridex now.
I know, yeah. Dridex is there to stay, looks like.
Yeah.
In 2017, we'll be hearing more about it,
Right.
I hope not, but that's the nature of it.
Well, it's kind of one of those where the hackers really benefit from it too, so they're not going to let it go
especially
easily.
the sector which they're targeting, and especially the banking sector,
right.
is something which is under a lot of scrutiny and microscopic attention in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we had one more thing about the Boeing employee. What did he do?
This is a local thing. So apparently this Boeing employee was having issues with an Excel sheet that had a bunch of company information on it, and for some reason, one reason or another, emailed it to his spouse. What he didn't know is that there were hidden columns in the spreadsheet that also gave their social security number, like all this sensitive information for over 36,000 employees. So this happened back in November, and they finally kind of they did analysis of him and his wife's computer, made sure nothing shady was going on, and then they had to send out letters to everybody. And I guess how they resolved the issue is they said, They are confident the information was not spread beyond those two devices. However, they're still offering every employee who was on that list 2 free years of credit monitoring, just to make sure that, you know,
and everything is good.
everything's good. And then they're also going to require additional training on handling personal data. So once again, they're probably among the businesses upping their security 20% and investing it into
we did
training.
cover, you know, how data security, information security training is important. In this case, you know, there is another field, you know, which is very important, which is forensic investigation. Getting to understand how to be a forensic investigator. We have courses around that. If you guys are interested in that how would you analyze a digital footprint, digital forensic, you know, footprint from a computer? What does it take, you know, when it is email being sent out from one computer over the internet or over the intranet to some other computer, and how do you collect that evidence? What are the tools available to collect it? So really interesting field. We do have some really cool classes around it too. So if you guys are interested,
we'll link to those in the description as well.
That'll be great. So no, perfect. I think these stories are really exciting. So we really wanted to talk to you about these. And if you have some feedback or any other, you know, related stories, we would definitely like to cover those up, and we like more and more feedback from you.
Yeah, and just to give credit where credit is due, this Boeing story has been out in the news, but I heard about it weeks ago from Swift on Security. So
yeah, good job, guys. All right.
That's it.
Well, thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.